Tell yourself like you're going to make it. You are a winner. Be confident. All right, guys. So here's my disclaimer again. Before we get into part 2, I want to let you know that if you are triggered by the words of depression, anxiety, and past trauma that you may have experienced, and by listening to my story, you are triggered, please do not even continue watching. Just go ahead and click right off. I am not promoting any type of medication. I am not promoting that you need to do this, you need to go to the doctor, you need to, no, I'm not doing any of that. I am just sharing my own experience with you guys, just being vulnerable about the things that has affected me. And this is a part of my self-care journey that I am pretty much just putting myself out here on YouTube, and so that you can really get to understand who I am, and then also I'm trying to really understand myself. So I just want to just go ahead and put that disclaimer out there, and I'm also going to put a detailed one in the description box. So let's go ahead and get into this video. If you have not watched part 1, I strongly suggest you go ahead and watch part 1 before you watch part 2. This is going to be more of me finally becoming aware of who I am. Who is Tamika? Trying to like really break out of that cycle of feeling closed in and depressed, and just seeking help. So this is basically what this video of part 2 is going to be about. So I've been wanting to get help for the longest. I actually did seek help like years ago, not too long ago, about almost 15 years ago. I would say maybe around in my 20s, early 30s, I decided to seek help. I was going through a lot at my job at the time, and just not being able to communicate, and just I was stressed out with all other things that was going on in my home life, that I needed to see a psychiatrist. So I went and I saw a psychiatrist for help. At that time I was put on, I think it was called Xanax. Yeah, Xanax. Now with that, and mind you, when I was taking Xanax, I was on like a 3-month leave, and it was just so difficult and so hard that when I was taking it, all I did was go to sleep, and I did not feel like it really helped me. And of course I continued my visits to the psychiatrist, and then when they approved me to go back to work, you know, I never followed up with my primary care to make sure, you know, just have these talks like, hey, you know, this is what the psychiatrist gave me, but maybe there might be something else that I can get or use, because I don't always want to feel like I am sleepy. That is not productive. All it did was just, oh, I'm worrying. Okay. All right. I can't even remember when I was supposed to take the Xanax, but all I know is that, okay, I'm gonna drift off and go to sleep. So it's like I pretty much slept my problems away, and it really did not help me. So the worst thing that I could have ever done for myself was to take myself off without the guidance of my doctor. And I do not suggest anybody do that. Always get a doctor's advice before you take yourself off of anything, because that is not the right thing to do. I said that I am just going to use prayer, and I am just going to just go with the flow. But there's nothing wrong with using prayer, but the thing is, you still have to continue to work on building yourself, and, you know, journal, listen to motivational tapes and stuff. Like, I didn't do the work on my end to like help me out. It was like, okay, God, fix it. Oh, okay, it's not fixed. All right, then maybe next time. That's how I was dealing with it, and I was able to just go with the flow. Those who may say, well, then how did you cope? Well, I cope with just distancing myself from people. If I feel like an argument was coming, I would just turn the other way. Or a lot of times I would just go in on an argument because I'm so busy trying to defend myself, because like I was saying in part one, this is what I went through, and it was hard to defend myself, because it's like when you're young, you know, you're told, when you grow up in an African American household, you know, you're pretty much raised different. You was raised with yelling and hitting, and that's just not with just any African American. I feel like that can go in any household who has a lot of structure, and if your parents was in the army, then that can also have an effect too. But any household where the parent is very strict in a way to where it's either my way or the highway, that's pretty much what it is. So yeah, it was pretty hard. So it's like I will always spend my time always trying to defend myself. Even with my husband, I will try to defend myself, like stand up for myself and stuff like that. And it does not feel good at the end, because sometimes you can take it too far and then you regret it. So I struggle with that. My husband already knew what was going on. He knows, like, you know, you letting what your mama did. See, I already done said it. You letting that situation that happened dictate how you are right now, blah, blah, blah. And it got to the point where even in my own relationship with him, I would mentally prepare myself for a divorce, because if we get into an argument, it's like, oh, I think we about to get a divorce. Let me mentally prepare myself. And then at the end, I'm like, so what are we doing? What do you mean, what are we doing? Well, I was preparing because I thought you didn't want to be with me no more. What are you talking about? Like, my mind was seriously gone. It was like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like constantly moving, when it's really was not that serious. But to me, it's that serious because I did not want to feel like the rug was being pulled right up under me, like blindsided, like I was blindsided with the parent. I didn't want to be blindsided with anybody. So even if it meant my husband or somebody, like, I don't want to be blindsided. So that's why I always stay like in a in an observation mode. Like, I stay quiet for a reason, because I'm trying to see how you move, how you do this, how you do that. Oh, okay, I see you coming from me. All right, I'm ready. I got you. No problem. You're not going to pull nothing over on me because I see you, right? But I'm learning different ways, and I'm even learning even more that less is more. Because you don't always have to fight with your words. You can just fight in silence. You say what you have to say, and then that's it. There's no ifs, ands, but about it. If you got a problem with it, that's not my problem. I needed to get some help. So I'm bringing you up to speed to right now, to where just about a month ago, I decided, mind you, all of this is happening within 6 months, except for the whole Xanax thing and that story that I've said, you know, following along with that. But let me bring you up to speed as far as like what happened a month ago. About a month ago, I decided that I needed to get some help. I already had, one of my kids was on Adderall for like years, and that Adderall is like a stimulant where it's for kids with ADHD. But what I've learned is not too long ago that it can be for adults too, who needs like to keep themselves focused and be able to cope in life, or just be able to get up and like pull themselves and just be structured. And which I did not know that at the time, and I wish I did, but I didn't. But I already had in mind that Adderall may be the choice, maybe for me. There's choice. So the doctor decided to put me on a non-stimulant. So the I can't even pronounce it right. It sounds like ibuprofen, but it's not. But it's a non-stimulant where I'm on a low dosage, to where it helps me to help improve me overall, to like get up and just go, and help me to be a little bit more structured in my day. It also really like helps me in difficult situations. Like right now, even talking about this, even in part one, I didn't start crying until I spoke about one of my friends that passed away in a car accident. I didn't start to cry until then. But usually when I talk about things that are difficult, like you can kind of see it in my body language that I was moving around, but usually I would be shaking, like trembling in some sort, or just like I was a little bit fidgety and just like feeling frustrated, but I wasn't like this, like jittery. So I can tell that the medicine is working. I have like a follow-up coming up soon to discuss. But like I said in the disclaimer, that I'm not suggesting to anybody to get any type of medication. You do what you need to do for yourself, but just discuss it with a doctor and be up under a doctor's care where they can supervise you and help you get to where you need to be. And then also, what I am suggesting for myself is to, journal, listen to motivational tapes and stuff, when you're driving, when you get up, when you feel down, listen to it throughout the day, because it's a mind thing. Like, you really have to tell yourself, like, you're going to make it, you are a winner, be confident, you are awesome, you are great, you can do anything you set your mind to. The sky is the limit, and I don't ever want to feel like I can't never get myself out of anything. And I'm not just talking about just with depression or anxiety. I'm just talking about in everyday life, the accomplishments and the things that I want to do while here on this earth, I want to achieve, but fear gets in the way. While it is July 16th, your girl has been making declarations